Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. So I just finished Fourth Wing. And I know everybody's been talking about it for a really, really long time. And it's been on my list for a little while, but I've been a little hesitant only because I heard that that it had some like stuff in it that like I typically don't like. And so I kind of had been avoiding it. And then I also heard it was very similar to Game of Thrones, and I did not make it through Game of Thrones. In terms of like reading Game of Thrones. I made it to like the third book in the series, and I was just over it. But honestly, I actually really like Fourth Wing. For those of you who have no clue, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros is a book about two kids, more or less. I mean, like they're 20 and 23, but like they're acting like they're teenagers. but so the whole premise is that these two main characters are at a war college, and they're just fighting constantly. They hate each other. Violet is the main girl, Sorengale, and she is the daughter of one of the generals, and she's the youngest of the general's kids. And throughout the whole series, she's just kind of unintentionally pining after the other guy, Xaden. And there's some other minor characters. Her male best friend is Dane. We don't like Dane by the end of it. And then Rhiannon is her female best friend, and they're all just, really kind of thrown into this situation together based on what their government has done. So their government has basically, said, hey, we had this rebellion, we had this uprising, and to squash the uprising, all the people that kind of led the uprising, all the adults were executed because of their actions, and so their kids are forced into conscription, and so they have to become dragon riders. And the point is that the government hopes that if they make it through War College, which is 3 years, then they will show their loyalty to the kingdom. If they don't make it through, they've sacrificed themselves for the kingdom. That's what their whole reasoning behind it is, which is just stupid. But first off, in general, I love the politics of all of this. It makes sense, it flows really well. Like I like how there's just like this whole world and this whole history, and Violet's, planning originally to become a scribe, a person that just deals with her books and the history, and that's kind of her. And so like I feel for that piece of it because it's very similar to myself. Like, give me a good history book and I'm good. But her mother is forcing her to become a writer because that's what her mother did. That's what her siblings have all done, blah, blah, blah. Right. And it just, as you get further into the story and you just start to understand the politics of how everything works within the war college, how everything works within the kingdom, it just works so well together. So I love that piece. I'm not a big fan of the characters, though. They're just two-dimensional. And I think, like, if I had a complaint about it, I think it's the fact that they are just, they're written as adults, and they keep talking about the fact that, like, we are adults, and this is a grown woman, this is a grown man, and how dare you treat him this way, and you're acting like children. Like, truthfully. And like the other piece of it is that I disliked about it, beyond the sex, because as we know, not my cup of tea. Like, I just don't need it. I can deal with one like major scene, like everything finally comes to the head, and it's just like, yeah, they like do the thing. Okay, fine. But it doesn't need to happen as frequently as what it does in the book, or at least descriptively as what it does. Like, it's never necessary. It does not further the plot. And if anything, it just makes the characters more shallow. So like, there's that side of it. But the other piece of it is I think because of the fact that they're just pining after each other in their own independent ways, the whole book, and they're pining after each other just doesn't make sense. Initially, like at the end of it makes sense, and we kind of tie it all together so that it does make sense. But like initially, it does not make sense. At least to me. Other people may have other feelings about it, and that's fine. So like, yeah, other than that, like the pining after each other, absolutely annoying. The sex, completely unnecessary. And then the other complaint that I have is language. Like, I always say that when it's well timed and well written, it works and it's fine. And like, truthfully, I do not have a problem in and of itself with language. Like, people can say whatever they want. I don't care. I am not a saint. But I think it can lose its impact and its effect the longer it goes on. And so with this book, I just felt like you are saying F-bombs every 2 words, and it's not, it loses its impact. It loses the point, and it doesn't make sense for the characters. Like, I kind of felt like we were trying to go for the idea that people in the military tend to cuss more, which I don't know if that's necessarily valid or not. All the military people that I know, or ex-military people that I know, do tend to cuss a lot. But like, no more than any other person that I know, at least in my opinion. And at least when they're around me, and not saying something because like, I'm not a person that gets super overly offended by it. But it just didn't make sense for the characters. Like, every sentence did not make sense for the characters at the beginning. It tapers off at the end of the book, and so like, it's fine. And I was able to dive into the lore and the story and the world that she's building, and ignore that piece of it. But yeah, like, because of those 2 things, I'm rating it a 4 out of 5. Not like a 4.5. Like, it's just a straight 4. I am absolutely 100% going to finish this series because, as me and one of my very good friends, we were talking about it, and we're like, we just want to fight everybody. Like, who we fighting today? Like, we gonna fight this Jack dude at the beginning of the book? Like, we ready to fight. Like, who's Jack and why is he the way he is? And then by the end of the book, I'm like, I'm fighting every last one of you. I don't care who, like, main character, sidekick, I'm fighting every last one of you. What is wrong with all of you? Like, I just want to fight everybody at the end of it. But like, that aside, like, it's a really good book. I'm super, super intrigued by the lore. And throughout the book, every chapter is quoting some kind of historical document from this kingdom. And I just love that. I love that, you're bringing up other, like, the Book of Brennan, and that this was written by this one general, and here's a history of, the city, and they're using all these quotes from it. And so it just builds this world in a very unique and different way. And I just loved that. That's just really after my own heart. But yeah, the rest of it could have done without. Honestly, the book probably would have been a little bit shorter too. And more worthwhile. Yeah. Like, it just, and I know, like, people in the comments are probably going to be like, you just don't like it, or you need to, whatever. No, it's not that I don't like it, because like, it's part of the characters. It's just, there's some things that lose their impact and lose their power when done in a certain way. And so that could be language, that could be sex. I will also say, in terms of character building, as I said, like, and I've said this before, sex scenes, books or film, do not further the plot. Ever. If anything, it makes your characters weak, in my opinion. And in this case with Xaden and Violet, it didn't just make them weak, but it made their relationship make absolutely no sense. And it makes their relationship so surface level. And so at the end of the book, when they're just like, you know, I absolutely love you and I'm going to, you know, do whatever it takes to make sure I earn your trust back and all this stuff. I'm like, no, like, you literally spent the whole time just lusting after each other, and then you finally get satisfied and you realize that, yeah, your relationship is based on nothing, because in reality, it's based on nothing. You know, it's that, and that's reality. That is how things are. Like, people are like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, like we slept together first and now we've been in this 10-year relationship. Your relationship is built on nothing. There's not even a level of friendship between the two of them. The friendship does grow over the book minorly, but like, that's why she's so upset, because she's like, oh, I trusted him, or I thought I trusted him. And because you were just lusting after each other, your relationship is built on absolutely nothing. So yeah, so like, that's really my 2 cents about the book. That said, really good. Thank you to all the people that recommended it. Like, super excited to jump into the next book. Cause I was just like, at the end of this, I was sitting there, I was like, I'm ready to fight everybody. It is not frequent that I want to just fight characters, but I was like, give me the sword. Give me a sword. Give me a sword and a dragon, which I've always said that, you know, like, if I had a mythological character, I would probably have a dragon or a snow leopard. But yeah, like, the dragon piece just really gets me. And I love the way the dragons were, like, their characterization was just so simple, and I really liked it. It wasn't overdone. They weren't overly magicked or anything like that. They were just chill, which I really liked. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you, as always, for joining me on book reviews. Thank you to those of you that popped over from my husband's channel. Welcome to book reviews that are not excessively long. But also, thank you to everybody who has been on this journey with me. I know there's not a lot of you out there, but as we continue to read books, like, I was just talking with some of my kids at school, and we're back in school, and I told them, you know, we're going to be doing some reading, and they were like, why? Like, because you need to, for one, but also because books are fun and books are good. And so that's really what I hope you all, you know, are getting out of this channel. So, so thank you all for being here and on the journey, with me. So, I think that's about it. So I will see you all in the next book review. Bye.